Good morning, students. So this is the first part, class 9 chemistry. So our first chapter is matter in our surroundings. So before discussing that topic, let us discuss about what is a chemistry. As we all know that chemistry is that branch of science which study the matter and its properties. Okay. सो केमिस्ट्री साइंस का वो ब्रांच होता है जो कि मैटर का प्रॉपर्टीज़ के बारे में हमको बताता है यहाँ पे. एंड फॉर दैट वी हैव डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द मैटर इन आवर सराउंडिंग्स. ओके, सो फर्स्ट थिंग इन योर माइंड इज दैट व्हाट इज अ मैटर. मैटर होता क्या है? मैटर इज नथिंग बट एनीथिंग विच ऑक्यूपाई स्पेस एंड हैव मास इज कॉल्ड मैटर. मीन्स कोई भी चीज़ जो स्पेस हो, जिसका स्पेस होता है, ऑक्यूपाई स्पेस लेता है वो. ओके, एंड हैव सम मास इज कॉल्ड अ मैटर. सो आई एम शोइंग वन एग्जांपल. Here I am using one simple thing. Okay, you can see that this is a matter. Okay, why it is called a matter? This is a solid matter because the particles are very closely intact. You can see in the diagram. This is that solid. I will discuss in the later part. So anything which occupies some space, means for keeping it acquire some space and having some mass, that is known as a matter. Okay, on that property, matter can be classified as solid, liquid, and the third one is the gases. Okay, now the question arises, in matter what are the things inside it? It is nothing but the tiny particles inside the matter is known as the atoms. Okay, you can show in the diagram. This is solid matter, and this small tiny particles is known as what? Atoms. Okay, now can you imagine in a single drop of water? Okay, in a single drop of water at around 10 to the power 21 number of particles, means if you can combine 10 to the power 21 number of particles, it will form the what? A single drop of water. Okay, for that now we are going to discuss the characteristics of particles of matter. As we know that in a single drop of water at around 10 to the power 21 number of particles, means the particle is so small that we are unable to see with our naked eyes. Okay, so this is the first point. The particles of matter are very small. It is so small that we cannot see with our naked eyes. ये इतना छोटा होता है कि आप लोग उसको अपने naked eyes से नहीं देख सकते. Okay, and the particles of matter have space between them. You can see that I am drawing the solid, liquid and gases, so you can see the small spaces between them. Okay, next, the particles of matter are constantly moving. Particles of matter जो तो हमेशा move करते रहते हैं and depends upon the solid, liquid and gases. Okay, next, the particles of matter attract each other. Okay, next, our next topic is Brownian motion. So what is a Brownian motion? If we can put a pollen grain in a water, you can see that the small particles are in constantly moving. Suppose I am taking water. Okay, and on that water I am taking so many pollen grains, means the small particles are constantly moving. That motion is known as the Brownian motion. I can give the picture on this video. You can see the Brownian motion. So now look at the definition. The zigzag motion of small particles suspended in a liquid is called the Brownian motion. Example, the pollen grains in water. Now our next topic is the diffusion. So what is diffusion? The movement of different particles among each other so that they become mixed uniformly by their own is called diffusion. So mixing of two gases, let us take example. If we can use two gases, if we can take a solid and liquid, like if we can put ink on that water, these two particles, they're completely mixed each other. Okay, that properties is known as what? The diffusion. Okay, now but the property of diffusion gives us two important things. The first thing is that the matter is made up of very tiny particles. मैटर में जो पार्टिकल्स होता है बहुत ही स्मॉल होता है, जो कि हम नॉर्मल आंखों से देख नहीं सकते. नेक्स्ट, द पार्टिकल्स ऑफ मैटर्स आर कॉन्स्टेंटली मूविंग. ओके, नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक इज द कोहेशन. As we know that the difference between the solid, liquid and the gases is the properties of cohesion. What is the cohesion? The force of attraction between the particle of the same substance is known as the cohesion. Means जो particle के बीच में जो force of attraction जो होता है वही properties को हम बोलते हैं cohesion बोलते हैं. On the basis of cohesion, we can say that because of the properties, the materials may be cohesive and non-cohesive. Okay, as we know that the force of attraction is maximum in solid. For that reason, we cannot separate the particles. Actually, solid में होता है क्या, particles बहुत ही close packed रहते हैं. Because of that particles, there is so much force of attraction. Because of force of attraction, the maximum the cohesive force in solid and minimum in the gases. And what about the liquid? It is the average part. Okay. Next, we have known about the rigid. Rigid means that substance that is unbending or inflexible. Like the example is solid. You can see that it is unbending. I am using the force. It is not bending, and it is also not flexible. That substance is known as the rigid substance. We can take any example at. So I am taking here wood. Next, fluid. Any substance that can flow easily or require a vessel or a container to keep it. Means that जो substance वो easily flow कर सकता है और उसको रखने के लिए हमको कोई कंटेनर चाहिए. जैसे कि वाटर हो गया, वाटर easily flow कर सकता है और आपको वाटर को कैप करना है तो कोई बॉटल में रख सकते हैं या फिर कोई आप कंटेनर में यूटेंसिल्स में यू कैन कैप इट आउट. ओके. नेक्स्ट, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक अबाउट द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ सॉलिड. Okay. Next, the first thing is that it have a fixed shape and fixed volume. You can see here I am having a diagram of solid, liquid and the gases. The first thing is that the solid, the particles are very very close to each other. आप देख सकते हैं पार्टिकल बहुत close each other है और इनके बीच में spaces जो है it is very very less. Now you can see about the liquid, the particles are far apart from each other. As compared to solid, you can see the spaces is more. And look at out the gases. गैसेस में पार्टिकल्स बहुत दूर दूर है यहाँ पे और बहुत बड़ा बड़ा आपको स्पेस नज़र आ रहा होगा. So okay, now come to our topic, the properties of solids. So solids have a fixed shape and fixed volume. You can see here the solid having a fixed shape and having a fixed volume. Next, it cannot be compressed much. If I am applying the force, you can see that it is not compressed much. Okay, हम इसको ज़्यादा दबाव नहीं दे सकते. Next, it is having a high density. इसका डेंसिटी जो होता है बहुत ही ज़्यादा होता है. इट डज नॉट फिल द कंटेनर कम्प्लीटली. इफ यू कैन पुट एनी सॉलिड टू एनी कंटेनर, लाइक यू कैन पुट द आइस क्यूब ऑन ए बॉटल, इट कैन नॉट फिल कम्प्लीटली. ओके, एज वेल एज इट डज नॉट फ्लो. ये फ्लो नहीं होता है. नेक्स्ट कम टू अवर टॉपिक, द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ लिक्विड, or you can say the properties of a fluid. So as I have shown in the diagram, the liquid have a fixed volume but they have no fixed shape and take the shape of the object in which it is kept or transformed. तो लिक्विड का तो वॉल्यूम तो फिक्स होता है, लेकिन इसमें सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ होता है कि इसका कोई फिक्स शेप नहीं है. आप किसी भी चीज़ में डालेंगे उसको वो उसका शेप ले लेते. लाइक इफ आई कैन पुट वाटर ऑन द बॉटल, इट विल टेक द शेप ऑफ दैट वाटर बॉटल. ओके. नेक्स्ट, इट कैन नॉट बी कॉम्प्रेस मच. लाइक सॉलिड, द लिक्विड ऑल्सो कैन नॉट बी कॉम्प्रेस मच. Okay, how you can know that it cannot be compressed much? You can do one activity. You can take water bottle and put inside water. Now you can apply the force. You can see that it cannot compress much. But if you can take the empty bottle, now you can apply the force. You will see the difference. Next, it has moderate to high density. Means the density is average to high. Next, it does not fill the container completely. If you can see carefully or any water bottle, you can see that there is some spaces there. Okay. Next, it generally flows. As we know that the particles are far apart from each other, so it can flow very very easily. Now the last properties is that properties of gases. Gas is also a fluid because it can flow easily. Anything that flow, that is known as a fluid. So the first property is that the gases has neither a fixed shape or quantity or have not have a fixed volume. तो गैस का ना ही कोई फिक्स शेप होता है, ना ही उसका पर्टिकुलर क्वांटिटी होता है, ना ही उसका फिक्स वॉल्यूम होता है. इट कैन बी कॉम्प्रेस इजली. यू कैन सी दैट यू कैन कॉम्प्रेस द गैस पार्टिकल वेरी वेरी इजली. मतलब कॉम्प्रेस करके एक जगह पे आप उसको आराम से ला सकते हैं. एग्जाम्पल LPG एंड CNG. इट इज़ ए लोअर डेंसिटी. गैस बहुत हल्का होता है यहाँ पे. इट फिल्स द कंटेनर कम्प्लीटली. आप गैस को एक कंटेनर पूरा फुल्ली फिल कर सकते हैं. Gases flows much easily. So as the particles of the gases are far apart, so it can flow very very easily. Thank you.